exhaustion, or sharks. One man will live out one of our greatest primal fears. Майк Ратцен will experience our worst nightmare. He will abandon himself in 3 shark hotspots with one ultimate goal: to survive a night in the water with great white sharks. Helping him, a crew who will be tested to the max on a journey far out to sea. A journey deep into fear. Майк Ратцen has designed an intricate language to communicate with sharks. He believes that sharks aren't mindless killing machines, but they have a sophisticated and subtle psychology. To prove his theory, Mike is prepared to undergo the ultimate test: to share the water day and night with the most feared of all sharks, the great white. One wrong move, and he could pay with his life. Sharks are highly adapted and skillful predators.
What I'm trying to do is to raise the awareness for the people to understand the animals better.
Is our terror out of proportion? What drives Mike's fatal attraction? His mission: to survive day and night in 3 shark hotspots. His final dive will be his most dangerous: a long night dive with the world's most feared shark, the great white. First, he's chosen a remote coral atoll, Basasta, India, off the coast of Mozambique. This underwater volcano is only exposed for 10 hours a day. It is home to a high concentration and range of shark species. Mike will float alone in these warmer tropical waters. And joining Mike, a crew of colorful characters. Mike's greatest challenge is public opinion. The terror of being eaten alive. This primal fear drives people's deadly disdain for sharks. Kill them before they kill us. 100 million every year. Many for just their fins. This overkill is what fuels Mike's dangerous obsession.
If they're not going to attack me, maybe I can teach a few people that they are not mindless killing machines and actually very intelligent animals.
The extinction of sharks would be catastrophic. Without this top predator, our oceans could turn into dead zones, harboring only the lowest life forms. It's only day 1, and already Mike must batten down the hatches. They're heading for bad weather.
I come from the bush. I don't know the ocean. No, I'm not used to boats. Oh.
At last, Bassus is on the horizon. Mike races off to find a safe anchorage. There could be undersea reefs or rocks that could rip apart the ship's bowels, dumping the crew in shark-infested waters. Mike leads them in. And there's the atoll, 10 kilometers across, only visible at low tide. Bassus to India is an atoll, the coral peak of an extinct undersea volcano. This atoll has a dark past. It's a mariner's graveyard. At high tide, it's invisible, until a ship runs aground. The captain's worried about getting too close to the atoll's deadly rocks, but the boat's too far out. And with nothing but an abyssal 3-kilometer drop beneath them, there's nowhere to attach the anchor. The attempt fails, and strong currents pull them towards the atoll. They need to secure a mooring rope, fast. So Mike performs an emergency dive to fix a new anchor onto the reef.
A bit worried about Mike. I'm sure he's running through some heavy deco time at the moment.
Mike is struggling against the current. And to make things worse, he's losing air from a faulty regulator. He's forced to surface too quickly. Mike is now at risk of decompression sickness.
If he has decompression sickness, the closest chamber is 800 miles away. There's no help that's close by, and the whole event will pretty much be down the drain.
Decompression sickness occurs when divers surface too fast. The nitrogen gases in the bloodstream pop like champagne bubbles. The effects: pain, paralysis, death. Joe, the producer, knows Mike's life is in his hands. And with no recompression chamber, there's only one solution. Mike must dive back underwater, forcing any deadly nitrogen bubbles to become safely reabsorbed into his bloodstream. Mike is breathing pure oxygen and is monitored by Navy-trained cameraman, Bob.
Mike, just checking if you can hear me, over.
I can hear you.
Can you just tell us what depth are you at?
We have about 5 meters.
Okay, if you could stay there, thank you.
Something right here.
He must stay down at least 30 minutes.
Seems that he's okay, so it looks like this whole event is going to happen.
This is it. One last supper. A weather check. Camera check.
Okay, plumb out of excuses. We gotta go dive.
Everything's ready, even the sharks. Final check, a medical. It's a thumbs up. As Mike prepares for his first dive, he must get into the shark's mind. He takes his life into his own hands and readies to dive overboard, straight into shark-filled waters. Mike will spend all day and all night in the water with sharks he's never seen before. The first shark, a Galapagos shark. It hunts in packs. There must be more on the way. This one's curious. The current is fierce. Mike can't let go. Like shark bait on a hook, he can only wait for the shark's next move. Up above, the team are running into stormy weather. This wasn't forecast. Is this what it's like to be lost at sea, alone, vulnerable? But this is just the beginning of Mike's journey through our fears. It's sunset at Bassus, and feeding time.
Weather's calming down. Sharks are coming.
The tide is turning, bringing more sharks, silvertips, and more Galapagos. These bold and aggressive sharks hunt in packs and are considered dangerous to people. Mike sees they're moving faster. They have him surrounded. He must not panic. An elevated heartbeat can be sensed by the shark's sensitive lateral line system.
Sharks we had that were very cautious in the daytime, they're getting more bold and they're coming in. The one's coming in right about 15 centimeters off my head, just checking me out. So it's as if the whole reef goes into a hunting mode. I'm tired, but so far so good.
Mike's first shark night has begun. He's about to encounter an alien world where sharks' superior night vision make them an even deadlier threat. It's midnight, and sharks keep coming. Mike's eyes have to be everywhere at once, but his mastery seems to be working. But all of a sudden,
what's wrong with the generator?
It's gone out. The lights have gone out. Mike's down there.
Get the back.
while the crew try to fix the lights, Mike is left drifting in choppy water, with only sharks for company. The nightmare just got worse. For the next 20 minutes, everything he believes about sharks is put to the test. The lights reveal what surrounded Mike in the dark. From every shadow comes a shape. Mike's been diving for 17 hours. He's beginning to show strain. morning sun is fierce, so Mike dives in just a t-shirt to avoid overheating. But he's made a mistake. These sharks are hunting. They see white flesh, the same color as fish, and want a bite. He has no choice but to fight the sharks back. So he keeps his body shape open and active to signalize his status as a fellow predator. The shark's senses can pick up a fast heart rate, alerting them to distress or imminent death. By staying calm, Mike keeps his heart rate low. And he knows he must make absolutely no jerky, panicky moves. This would elicit the predator response and could cause a feeding frenzy.
I took my wetsuit off, it's too hot. I think I'm going to put it back on. These animals are much more feisty than I thought. They're starting to get very, very pushy. They were much more docile at night. Nice to see the changes. Yeah.
Mike has lasted 24 hours. And now the current is pushing him and the studio far out into the open ocean. The ocean swell is so rough, the studio platform is cracking under the strain. Joe, the producer, decides it's too risky to continue. Mike's the last man out of the water. After more than 30 hours diving with sharks, Mike is shattered. With cracks splitting open with every swell, they're running out of time.
It's starting to fall apart on us.
It's not one's breaking out, so we're getting out of here.
Mike's first dive is over, and he's still alive to tell the tale. By staying calm and assertive, he's managed to defuse the shark's increasing scrutiny. He'll need to keep up his guard for the great white. Strangely, Bassas had no big sharks. The question is, why?
There's no question in my mind that 20 years ago, we would have seen hundreds of oceanic whitetips in this ocean where we are right now. But they're gone. They're gone because of longliners. They're gone because of shark fin soup in China, whatever. They're gone.
At the moment, sharks are being killed worldwide. The more places I do go to see sharks, the less I see.
These issues are driving Mike. His next dive is critical. He will meet bigger sharks. The water will be colder. The risk is stepped up. The location, Durban, South Africa. The sea here differs to Bassas, with warm and cold currents mixing. The colder water is home to bigger sharks. This is more like great white territory. Perfect training ground for Mike's ultimate dive. It is also the location of a historic mass shark attack. In World War II, the Nova Scotia was sunk here by a German U-boat. 1,000 men went into the sea. Only 200 survived. The rest, they say, were eaten by sharks. Were they taken alive or eaten when they were already dead? Mike hopes to shed light on what really happened here. The dive starts at dawn. Mike knows this dive will be tough. At 16 degrees Celsius, the water is 10 degrees colder. He risks hypothermia as his body drains heat. He's wearing a state-of-the-art dive suit designed to keep him warm and help him blend into the shark's territory. 40 minutes in, he sees his first shark. And it's a big one, a tiger shark. It has an impressive set of jaws that can dismantle anything. This is a species Mike has met before in these very waters. In 2006, Mike came face to face with a 500-kilogram giant. He wanted to try something extraordinary. He massaged the shark's sensitive snout to create a sleep-like state called tonic immobility. The massive predator became putty in his hands, dropping 20 feet to the ocean floor. This tiger shark doesn't stick around. Another shark's moving in, a black tip. But how does one small shark drive off a tiger? The answer soon becomes clear. It's not traveling alone. There's a whole gang of them.
We got about 20 black tips around us. We had one tiger shark in. The water is dark. Plus us the Indian. I'm getting tired, finding his currents and stuff. And I'm getting cold.
Mike lets go and is swept away within seconds. This is how the doomed passengers of the Nova Scotia must have felt. No protection, little hope of survival. After 8 hours, Mike is taking a beating from the never-ending waves.
Some problem holding it together.
Is he any closer to understanding what killed the men of the Nova Scotia?
Someone gets stranded out here. How long is it before it's thirst, it's the sun, harsh water, and the cold gets to you?
Mike is totally surrounded, entirely at their mercy. Still, no attack. Mike feels confident and decides to go further. He wants to show that sharks know the difference between human flesh and shark food. He asks the crew to throw in some fish. The reaction is immediate. Cameraman Bob feels out of his depth and tries to get out of the water.
Okay, that's good enough for me.
Mike sticks it out.
Yeah, no, they know what I am already, and they know what sardines are. Sardines are food. Well, they're going to leave me alone.
So Mike's courage was rewarded. 10 hours into the dive, Mike drifts over a very special shark site. It's 20 meters down. This is a ragged tooth shark. Some sharks seek out caves to shelter from strong currents. This cave is a safe, secure site. Females come from all around to give birth. Mike could stay here all day, but nightfall is approaching. Mike's taking a beating from the frigid water. His new suit has failed him.
The other suit I had on, it's not as hot as I thought. This suit is warmer. It's an open cell suit. It sticks to my skin.
The sharks seem to be waiting. His second shark night has begun. He can barely see the sharks. For now, the sharks have all the advantage. Mike has no idea how they'll behave after dark. The lights reveal something happening in the sea. Sardines, moving in by the dozen. Then by the thousands. Every year, millions of sardines swim up this coastline, pursued by predators. For the second time today, Mike is swimming in shark food. The first blacktip goes straight for him.
Sticky. Blacktip bit buffin.
Up above, it's the witching hour. But down below, the action is heating up. It's 2 a.m. Sharks move in from all around. The sharks seem anxious and begin snapping at Mike. And then, in the confusion, no one's sure what's happening. A shark's bitten the lighting cable. It's now entangled. Mike tries to help, but the shark is panicking. It's being electrocuted. One bite could lacerate Mike. Both the shark's and Mike's life are in danger. Mike stays with it, taking a powerful electric shock himself.
Put off the electricity!
What? Put off the electricity! Both of us! Both of them! Aaron, go!
The jetty's not turning on! Are they up? Doesn't want to shut down!
Mike's untangled the shark, but its mouth is still locked shut on a live cable. Sparks are flying. The power's off at last, but now Mike must work in the dark to remove the cable from the shark's mouth. At last, the shark is free.
The last thing I saw was Mike
pushing this shark out beyond the lights, and it was obviously in trouble. I don't know what happened to it, but hopefully we'll find out soon.
Mike pushes it through the water to get oxygen in its gills. The shark shows signs of life. And then swims off. Mike follows. Mike needs medical attention. He's been electrocuted with over 200 volts. He has burst a sinus.
I swam the shark down. The shark came alive again. At least the shark lives.
129. They didn't even hurt you that way, you know.
Now it's Mike's turn to be revived. 19 hours into the event, he may not last much more. His pulse is still racing. His core temperature is dropping.
I can feel how my head's actually starting to freeze.
He's down, but he's not defeated.
We want to get to dawn.
Down in the gear room, the crew are working fast. They just got the message. Mike is refusing to quit the dive. It's 3 a.m. Still 3 hours till dawn. The sharks circle. The cold steals energy. Exhaustion creeps in. Is Mike reliving the Nova Scotia passengers' desperate struggle for survival? He's proved that these sharks can distinguish between him and shark food, despite a massive stress trigger to the predators. But what will happen at dawn? 5 a.m. First light revives a blurry-eyed team. Breakfast is on the fly.
Let's go.
It's a perfect dawn. Calm seas, golden light, and sharks. Mike's last dawn dive was a close call. This time, there are even more sharks. But their behavior is calmer. They're not hunting. At least not him. Not now. By 10 a.m., the strain of floating in open water is taking its toll. The team decide to boost Mike's spirits.
I am gonna get in the water because Mike has shown me that they're not mindless killers.
After seeing Mike's triumph in the face of adversity last night, the crew have abandoned their fear of sharks. One by one, Mike's team buries their fear. Dive time, 32 hours. Mike now understands it's really the water that kills. As body heat leaches out, senses become confused.
Yeah, here we go for the 100th time. Hand grenade pins in every line. Throw them up and let something shine. Going out of my mind. Filthy mouth, no excuse. Find a new place to hang this noose. String me up from atop these roofs. Knot it tight so I won't get loose. Truth is you can stop and stare. Run myself out and no one cares. Dug the trench out, lay down there with a shovel up out of reach somewhere. Yeah, someone pour it in. Make it a dirt dance floor again. Say your prayers and stop it out when they bring that chorus in. I bleed it out, digging deeper just to throw it away. I bleed it out, digging deeper just to throw it away. I bleed it out, digging deeper just to throw it away. Just to throw it away, just to throw it away. I bleed it out.
Mike is beyond exhaustion and hypothermic. This dive's over. The cold ocean wins. But Mike wins too. These larger sharks didn't attack, even at night. This suggests that most of the Nova Scotia victims were probably eaten after they'd already died. Finally, it's time for Mike to prepare for his third shark night. With the biggest of them all, the great white. He heads home to rougher and even colder seas. Home is on South Africa's Western Cape, the great white shark capital of the world. Hands by. No one has ever spent the night with a great white and lived to tell the tale. Mike will use everything he has ever learned to survive this dive. He has spent years here learning everything he knows about sharks by swimming with them. Mike's explored shark behavior from every angle, always learning more. Always getting closer. Always wanting to prove that sharks aren't as dangerous as we believe. Dawn brings calm seas. A good day to dive. But the sharks are fighting each other.
They are chasing each other. They want to bite each other, so this is going to be tough.
This is the start of the mating season. Hormones are running high. Lots of biting and fighting. That's why Mike has never dived this time of year.
We don't really know what's going on down there, but it's just a huge shark. Huge.
From below, the great white looks even bigger. It's a female, over 4 meters long. And she's very curious. Mike stays in a low position to avoid a typical shark attack from the seabed. But soon, another shark appears. A larger male. So big, he blocks out the sun. He doesn't stick around. But the female returns. And this time comes so close, she gives Mike a bump. She seems calm and good-tempered. So Mike decides to free dive with her. This means no scuba gear.
You can see why the animals we choose to hunt this time. The light's extremely flat. They become the same color. They just disappear. They're interacting with us in a much more placid manner than with the other sharks.
The next swim will be at the surface, but Joe is worried for Mike's safety. The surface is where great whites hunt seals. Mike has a plan to communicate with the great white using body language. His first close look at the shark reveals this animal is not the female shark from before, it's the male, 5 meters long. Male great whites are always more aggressive than females. Mike curls up to look less threatening. The shark spots the signal. And then Mike swims away. The shark follows. The kicking fins hold its attention. Beside the shark, Mike is tiny. It descends to the seabed. The shark lines up on Mike, who maneuvers himself to be eye to eye with it. Less chance of attack. It returns and bares its teeth. A threat display. It gapes twice more. The shark is signaling a potential attack. Mike needs to diffuse the tension and tries to give the shark some space. But the shark uses its body to dominate Mike again and again. Mike has no choice but to retreat from the shark's space.
Yeah, big boy. He doesn't like me being there. Came up last time, he gaped 3 times in a row. That's not very good.
It's 6 p.m. The countdown has begun. The golden sea calms the nerves. There's just one catch.
This is the great white's prime hunting time.
And Mike's about to begin his next dive.
My main concern is how much light we have. We are diving with the biggest of all the sharks, and we have the least amount of lights. I hope that it is safe enough to dive with this dim light. Of course, the lights won't hurt the animal's eyes. That could be a very good thing.
We haven't dived with the white sharks at this time of the day yet. It's never been done before, so that should be good fun.
Mike must find a flat space on the ocean floor to settle because the sharks attack from below. Mike's already outnumbered. This is as big as they get, nearly 6 meters. Yet their coloration makes them almost invisible until it's too late. In the gloom, Mike has a great white experience like never before. He's surrounded by dark shadows. Mike's air lasts an hour. Then he will have to surface.
It's a very small area lit up. It's very eerie being there. You can't see and you know what's there. That's going to be interesting.
It's getting interesting already. The big female shark from this morning is here.
That's the big one again. See, it's coming closer. Take that.
There's a couple of sharks circling the chum drum at the moment, so the boys have decided to dive.
This is it. Mike's ultimate test. He needs to use every trick he's learned for this great white shark night.
Try to start again. I don't want to be the one the battles always choose, 'cause inside I realize that I'm the one confused. I don't know what's worth fighting for or why I have to scream. I don't know why I instigate and say what I don't mean. I don't know how I got this way. I know it's not alright, so I'm breaking the habits. I'm breaking the habits tonight.
Mike heads for the seabed. He can only see a few meters. The sharks could come from any direction. And there it is. The shark inspects Mike. A Cape fur seal turns on the sharks. They switch into hunting mode. No sign of the seal. Now, from all around, the sharks turn their attention towards Mike. Checking him out. Forcing him lower and lower to the ocean floor. He will soon need a fresh tank of air, but his escape route is blocked. Mike's heartbeat and movements are controlled. The sharks are curious, but seem to recognize a difference between him and the seal. Their response is to keep a modest distance, treating him like a fellow predator. This is a breakthrough. Even at night, Mike knows he can swim with great whites and survive.
It's incredible. Yeah, they just come out of nowhere. The one came up here, spooked for something, went straight down, almost hit me straight into the bottom. It's like the World War II fighter pilots. They just... See, on the edge of your birds, like a white line going, and next moment, wow. The best dive I've had in my life for sure. There's no words to describe it.
He said he'd put his life on the line to prove sharks aren't as deadly as we believe. He lived to see the dawn. He saw sharks as they really are, as top predators who maintain the ocean's delicate balance. He journeyed through our fears and battled through trials and adversity to prove one thing. The fin on the surface should be respected and can be understood. He showed us Shark Night can be a wonder.
If you tell somebody that you're going to dive with great white sharks at night, the immediate thought is that you're totally crazy. We have achieved that, and we have learned that definitely, to my opinion, the animals are hunting at night. And still, although they are hunting, we are not part of their food source.
Sharks are dangerous animals. But Mike has shown us how we can learn to lessen the chance of being attacked. When we understand sharks' behavior, they become less frightening.
We set out to discover something small, but I think we discovered something big.